following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Welcome to the SWBC Mortgage Living Room in Frisco, Texas. Thank you to Wingstop for presenting this show. It is 12:30 on a Monday after a Cowboys victory, and you know that can mean only one thing. It is about to get lit up in here. Don't look now, but the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. We going to Tampa, baby. Let's go. Guess what, Nathaniel? Zeke is back, Nathaniel. Zeke is back. Let's go.
Shannon, buddy, old pal.
Oh, man.
Put the emergency brakes
I got
on
my
that
Super Bowl
celebration.
I got my Super Bowl shirt on. You watch. It's going to come down to the last 2 weeks of the season. The Cowboys are going to win the division, and we going to Tampa in January. Let's go.
Love it. Love it.
How you guys doing? How y'all doing?
Feeling good here. Got us pumped up.
Feeling great, Shannon. That's great, man.
I'm trying to ingest, sniff, shoot up, snort, whatever you taking today. Because I need some of that. Whatever you got, I need some on this Monday. I need some.
What do you mean? What do you mean you ain't feeling that? How can you not after what they did against the Steelers? And then they did what I needed them to do. I had a little bit of hope, and they went out and they beat a good Minnesota team with a great running back and a great run game, and they did not let them run all over them. They gave me what I've been needing to believe in this team, and now I believe they're putting it together. Let's go. Don't at me. Try to prove me wrong. Try to prove me wrong today. Let's go. Come on.
Love it.
I tell you, man. I tell you, I'm watching this game, man, and I'm enjoying this game, and I want to, we were all wrong Friday. We was looking for the best player on this team, and it happened to be Connor McGovern.
Stop.
Sitting on the bench.
Stop, man.
Being inserted into the lineup.
Nothing to do.
And taking us to new levels, man. I mean, just, it really.
Jack Martin, baby.
I'm with you, Shannon.
Jack Martin.
I'm with you, Shannon. I'm pumped and I'm geeked, man. But I'm just trying to tamper mine, man. Just keep it just, tap down just a little bit. I mean,
since when?
I get old ugly. I look up on my phone at a certain point in the game, and something says a voice message. I never got a voice message. And it was shortly after Tony Pollard 42-yard touchdown run. I get a little short message. I'm like, what is this? Don't know about it, but my wife called me Nathaniel, so I'm like, okay, Jesse is. So Jesse attacks me in the middle of the game. Wow. But all I have to say is this right here. We had a victory yesterday, and Ezekiel Elliott rushed for over 100 yards. That's all I have to say, Kurt.
Love it.
That's all I have to say,
Awesome.
Jesse.
Awesome.
I'll just be quiet and sit back and let y'all just
love that work he did.
Try to tap my boy down.
Love that work he did behind Zach Martin. Love it.
Yeah, love that work he did behind Connor McGovern, Joe Looney, Connor Williams, and Cam Irvin. Love that work. Yeah. Yes. I tell you what, man. Woo! The fifth best. He ain't even in the top five.
He looked good yesterday. He did. I'll give you that.
He been looking good all the while. Just do what's right in front of him. He'll look even greater. Yes, sir. But I'm going to be quiet the rest of the show unless y'all try to attack my boy Zeke. And then I'm
nobody's
coming to the
attacking
light.
Zeke. We're all good.
I'm going off like Shannon did earlier in the show.
Took him 10 games to finally get over 100 yards.
Took him 10 games to block well. Took him 10 games to block
now you're
well.
Saying,
so
it is Zach Martin.
10 games to block well.
It is Zach Martin then. I get it. Yeah.
I know it is Connor McGovern.
They finally moved Zach Martin to right tackle, and all of a sudden he finds a 100-yard game.
They finally put Connor McGovern in the game, and then all of a sudden, 100-yard games. Been missing this, what is Big Ten, Pac-10, Penn State, brother, whatever it is over there in that fake league they play in.
Why do you think they made the move now?
You know what? And I was against that move, but it's a move that needed to be made because they had the best 5 offensive linemen on the field, I think, for the first time, and it worked out well, especially with the All-Pro going to the right tackle like that. And we just hope that this thing can get better this coming Thursday against the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I saw Broadus. He tweeted out that they finally gave him a chance to. They didn't want 2 rookies next to each other like Biotish and McGovern next to each other. So you don't think that's true?
Stop.
So now they're able to put Looney.
Brother, they can think that way, but your season is bad. We don't want 2 rookies next to each other. Stop.
No, so I'm asking.
Stop,
I didn't know.
man.
I didn't know. That was
no. I'm agreeing with what you and Brod is saying, but if the Cowboys are thinking that way, we're never gonna play the young guys. Let's wait till we get a veteran team next year and then see if Conor McGovern can play.
No, I agree.
Nate,
It's not adding up.
Let me correct you, Nate. Your season was bad, not is bad. They have turned this around, and they are going to win the division.
No.
Let's go.
I understand. Winning the division, you can win this division with 6 games, and it's still going to be bad. That means you done lost 10. Okay? So I'm with you, Shannon. I'm pumped. I'm like, let's go Conor McGovern. Let's go Conor MGovern. Bringing your boy Zeke along for 100 yards.
I really do.
Jesse. Jesse.
I really hate when you two guys
When you really what, Jesse? My boy rushed for 100 yards, 4.9 average, Jesse.
You deserve every bit of that, Jesse. Every bit of it.
Listen,
And I talked to your boy Shannon yesterday, Jesse, and he said he didn't like this here. He said he's gonna get you back for that. Okay, Jesse?
See, this is what I don't like. I don't like when Shannon and Nate team up and get super hyped. Because then when I say my part, I come off as, there go Jesse again. He's the ultimate hater, the Debbie Downer. When I say things, when you two guys get together, and I believe in my heart of hearts that you guys had a pre-show conversation before we even got together and said, all right, listen, Nate, all right, Shannon, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get on this show, and we're going to be super hype, and we're going to make Kurt and Jesse look bad so that when Jesse open his mouth, he going to sound like a hater. And we're going to make him out to be the hater because he's going to try to speak some truth even though they don't want to hear it.
The gospel. What you got for us, gospel? I'm going to be quiet. What you got for us?
No, listen, guys, I am excited as you are for the victory. It's been a long time coming for this team to get a win. It still only puts us at 3 wins. It still only gives us 3 wins for the season. They still gave up over 425 yards of total offense. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Kirk Cousins still had a perfect QBR rating. I mean, our secondary is still horrible. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen was, cutting up and cutting out, doing whatever they wanted in the secondary. They still rushed for 180 yards as a team. They did. Dalvin Cook had over 100 yards rushing. So we're talking about all of these things, and it's, yes, we got the victory. So it doesn't shine a lot of light on those things. But when you give up 400 yards plus yards of total offense and 4 touchdowns, 3 in the air, 1 on the ground, there's a lot to be said, man. They give up another 100-yard receiving to another receiver in Adam Thielen. And you just can't can't play this kind of football.
Let me tell you why you should be excited. Okay. Let me tell you why you should be excited.
I feel like we're on the porch here now.
Two weeks ago, you was averaging 32 points a game. Your defense giving up 32 points a game. 5 weeks ago, your defense averaging giving up 36 points a game. Now you only gave up 28 points this game.
You gave
right
up one
here.
less touchdown.
Yeah, the yardage is big. With the way these receivers chopped us up. Yes, my man had a nice day, Dalvin Cook, but the score, they are under 30. They are under 30, Jesse. They gave up 28 points to a decent offensive team. It didn't look nice, but Donovan Wilson got 2 turnovers, man. Tank Lawrence got a sack. I see some improvement in there. So, and I'm not coming at you in that Debbie Downer way because I saw the same thing you saw. But when I looked at the scoreboard, usually when teams have 400 points against us, that means that they done scored. 400 yards against us, that means they done scored 40 points. For a change, it's a little bit different. Just for a change. So I don't want Shannon to go back and reschedule his Mexico trip, because I got him right now where he's trying to, see could he get some percentage of his money back on them tickets.
Oh man.
Hey, look. All right, look. So I am excited. I am not buying 100% fully into this team yet, but like Nate said, I think the reason why I have hope again is the way they played. They showed heart. They showed fight. They were hitting guys. They were hitting the gap. They were putting their nose in there. They made stops when they needed to make stops, and it's been a long time since you've been able to say that. They got turnovers. It's been a long time since you've been able to say that. Yeah, Andy Dalton looked like, he could actually play quarterback this week. It looked like the play calling was actually good. Like,
oh man,
there were just so many positives.
Preach, Shannon. Preach, Shannon.
And I don't know.
Roll with the gospel there now.
And you know what? To give you a little credit to you, gospel. I don't know if I'm so excited because this season has been such a disaster and it's been so long since this team looked like a real football team that I'm just buying in right out of the bat. Yeah, there were still a lot of things that were wrong, but for the first time this season since Dak went down, I was like, okay, this team actually has a chance to win some football games. Is it 1 more? Is it 3 more? Is it 6 more? I don't know, but I actually enjoyed watching the game for the first time since Dak went down this year. That's why I'm excited. I have hope. Again.
I'm kind of excited because I think maybe they're starting to finally kind of find their identity a little bit. Ever since the
what is that identity, man?
They're finding more balance on offense. They're getting a little more physical on defense. It's great to see. That ever since
it's great to see that you can come up with your own opinions and not ride with Jesse.
What are you talking about? They're not going to the Super Bowl.
You're riding with Jesse, Kurt. My boy Zeke got 100 yards, 4.9 average, scored a touchdown.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, good. Glad to hear it. That's great. It's good.
All right.
They ran the ball. You're not
quiet. I don't want everybody.
You're not going to be quiet. That's not going to happen. But they ran the ball 31 times. They passed it, I think, 33. They're showing balance. They're showing, like, maybe McCarthy and Kellen Moore finally kind of found their comfort zone and what they're trying to do offensively. They got rid of some dead weight on defense. Some of the younger guys are stepping up. That's what I'm excited about.
Now, you mean dead tonnage.
Yeah.
That wasn't dead. That was dead tonnage.
But that's what I think is exciting, is that they're finally making that progress. They're showing some improvement, and maybe they're finally kind of finding this identity. So, good things ahead.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to let Jesse Holley talk. Because I know he is dying. We have drowned him out this morning, and I can just see him. He's dying. He's chomping at the bit just to talk. Look at it.
I want to praise the guys who have done a tremendous job in the game yesterday, and just give them some praise. Some guys who much needed deserve praise. That's it.
I hear you, gospel. Give them some praise.
I'm never going to be mad at victories. I just don't want y'all all of a sudden now to go from we couldn't. We were playing like doo-doo, and all of a sudden you book a trip to Tampa.
Wow. Was it that low, Jesse? Was it
Yes,
that
it
low?
was. Yes, it was that low.
Yeah, it was low.
It was that low. It was that low, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
It was that low.
Yeah.
And now we go from
Hey,
we
thanks
went
for-
from the outhouse to the penthouse in one game. That's a huge jump. At least let's make some. At least go from the
games.
outhouse to the Motel 6 to the Holiday Inn. Like, work your way up to the Four Seasons.
Hey, Jesse.
Oh, you know we'll be in Spain. The guy who listens to us.
What up, Freddie?
Jesse.
Freddie, what's up, baby?
Jesse, I'm in the Motel 6, but when you've been sleeping out on the concrete for so long, you get really excited when you get a bed. That's why I'm so excited. Hey, we're going to let Jesse give some praise when we come back. And when we come back from the break, we're just going to go straight to it. Our friends over on Spanish radio, Victor Villalba and Luis, called maybe the catch of the year so far. CeeDee Lamb, just crazy catch. We'll let Jesse talk about how hard that catch is. And when we come back straight in from the break, you're not going to want to miss it. The Spanish radio call of CeeDee Lamb's touchdown. When we come back, the next segment of Hanging with the Boys.
Is your family a Cowboys family? Have you taken holiday photos at the Star? Was your wedding theme blue and silver? Have you convinced your kids them is spelled with a D? If so, every game day feels like a vacation to you, so treat it like one. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Just like all of you, we at Zeke can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Dalton en formación escopeta, custodiado por Zeke Elliott en movimiento. El ala cerrada. Ahora sí, atrás, busca, flota, el pase, esquina izquierda, caray, vaya recepción por parte de CeeDee Lamb. ¡Qué ajuste por el sector izquierdo! ¡Qué bárbaro! Volteó hacia arriba, dijo, ¡ah, caray! There's the ball. Y ahí está la recepción sensacional por parte del número 18. 6 puntos para la causa de los Vaqueros.
Oh, I didn't understand a word of that.
Love
but
it.
Man, was that fun.
I
Just
did.
like-
I think they said, man, Barbarossa shot up everybody.
Just like Randy Gregory, there's the ball. There must not be a Spanish translation of there's the ball. So, oh, man. Fellas, watching the game in old basketball shorts or baggy sweats is for amateurs. If you want to relax like a pro, upgrade to the comfort of Tommy John loungewear. It looks awesome and feels even better. It's got pockets for snacks and is machine washable for any unpredictable nacho cheese spills. Shop loungewear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 15% off your first order. TommyJohn.com/Cowboys. All right, Jesse. The gospel. How hard was that catch, man? Break it down for us.
Well, the first thing is that Andy Dalton threw a bad ball, right? And That's wrong.
Bad.
Terrible pass. It's a terrible pass. But I think the hardest
Spoken
part,
like a true wide receiver.
it was a bad pass. It was supposed to go to the
Don't get into okay,
supposed to go to the back corner of the pylon.
We agree.
Go ahead, Nate. You got it. No, you explain it, Nate. Today's your day.
I disagree, Jesse. Tell us how hard was the pass.
It was a very difficult catch. The tracking was the most difficult part. Being able to keep your eyes one way and then be able to flip your body and back and catch it, and the impact on the ground and holding on to it. Very difficult catch. Very difficult catch.
On the degree of 1 to 10, Jess, what would you give it?
A 9.
Wow, was that nice?
I would give it an 8.59. Yeah.
Is that tougher than Thielen's one-handed grab?
See, I thought that, to me, CeeDee's catch looked better and more difficult. I thought the more difficult catch was the one that Adam Thielen caught in the opposite end zone. It didn't look as good as CeeDee's, but just the difficulty of it, of being able to have a guy on your arm, and now you're trying to reach up and keep your feet in bounds and still hold on to the ball to the ground. To me, that was the more difficult catch, but CeeDee's catch looked more spectacular.
Yeah.
Hey, let me say this right quick, like Jess, and I need your opinion, man, because Awuzie, he's been out a while. He looked like he was running in mud a lot of times, man. Is it that difficult to come back from that type of injury?
No.
Because he looked like he was always behind. Help me there, man.
No, we talked about it last week. It's just working yourself back into that live action. Listen, practice is one thing, right? There's no consequences in practice. A guy beats you in practice, there's no consequences. You line up, you do it again. And in the game, from practice, the speed is another notch up. And you need some time to get acclimated to that speed again, to trust your turn and runs, to trust your back pedal, to trust your eyes. When you've been out all season long, you have not had any live reps in the sense of reps that actually are meaningful. And so coming back, your body needs to get acclimated to being in that speed of the game, that type of moment, that type of atmosphere, those things flying around at you, things coming at you 100 miles an hour, and to go right back out there and going up against two really good route running receivers. You're not going up against two slouches. Yes, one is a rookie, but Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, those are two of the best route running receivers that we have in the league. If you talk about just pure route running, they're in that conversation of guys who can go and get a route accomplished in any way, shape, or form at the line of scrimmage, being able to stack guys midway through the route, and then at the top of the route, being able to give you something subtle, come out of the breaks. And so when you got to go up against two guys like that, and you've been out for 6, 7, 8 weeks, that's a tough task and a tall task to ask somebody to come back and be at their best. He needs a couple games to get back into the rhythm of things before he feels 100% comfortable.
Man, because when I was looking at it, man, I was talking to Barry Church and I was just, man, it was almost to the point like, man, does he want to even be out there? And I said, you know what? I'm being a little too critical here. Because this offensive lineman and the position I play, everything was compact. Right. And you know, everything boom, boom, boom. You know, and he get the boom, boom, boom too, but he also got to get out there and stretch out. So I said, let me ask Jesse as a wide receiver on a serious note, because I like to have fun. I like to blast people, but I like to be correct when I'm blasting them. So that's why I wanted to say something on TV last night. But I like, let me ask Jesse about this, because he looked it not nice at all. I mean, he looked it bad.
Yeah, it takes time.
I mean, did you see it, man?
That takes time, man. It takes time to get your feel back for the game. Especially like you said, Nate, you deal in compact space, so you don't have to really deal with a lot of spatial awareness. As a DB, you have so much field to cover. Whether you're playing single high, whether you're playing, shell coverage, whatever it may be, there's still a ton of space that you have to cover, and you haven't got those live reps from guys. Because even when you're in practice, when do you really go, your ones versus their ones? Very seldom. And if you do, it's probably for one period. Other than that, you're going up against the backup guys. So even though you may go up against a Cedric Wilson or Noah Brown or somebody like that, those guys ain't Adam Thielen. They ain't Justin Jefferson. So even going up against those guys all week in practice, it ain't what you see on the field on Sunday. And that takes us some time and getting acclimated to just being back out there, having that spatial awareness, knowing where the sideline is at, knowing when your help is at, being able to flip and turn and run and doing all the kind of things. So for him, he just needs some more time to get back and get acclimated.
Yeah, while we're on the cornerback conversation, well, first off, CeeDee Lamb broke Bob Hayes' rookie record for all-time receptions as a Cowboy with 47. Wound up with
as a rookie
by the end of the day. So
as a rookie,
yeah. Yes, yep. And then the cornerback situation or conversation. How hard? And I'm sure every team around the league. This is one of those things where I'm sure every team around the league, people that follow it, have these conversations. It's just we watch this team and know this team like the back of our hand, so we're always closer to it than everybody else. Am I right in assuming there are only a handful of cornerbacks or defensive backs, safeties, cornerbacks in this league that are consistently covering at a high level and denying passes on a consistent basis? Because it seems like when you watch this team, Anthony Brown looks like an all-world cornerback sometimes, and then sometimes he looks like he doesn't know where he's at. Same thing with Jordan Lewis. Like, I love these guys.
Matchups.
Is it the matchup? Like, what makes a DB look so good at sometimes, and then sometimes they just get burned? Is that like that all over the league? We just watch this team, and that's why it looks this way. Like, talk to me about that.
Let me say something before Jesse, because we're going to lean on him. I know a little bit more on this position. I believe in matchups, and I believe in assignment and alignment and knowing what you can do as a person. I always played against better guys than me, but I always looked at what my weaknesses was and how I could stay out of those bad positions. I looked at the total play and how did I fit in that play and where was my help. On this turn protection, did I have a guy coming behind me that was going to help me? On this play right here, was it going to be Moose Johnson? If I take this guy, will Moose be smart enough to make sure he take that guy? So it's about assignment and alignment for me, and it's about matchups. Who am I playing against? What can I expect from these guys? So it's all about film study. So I think Jesse probably can give you a little bit more than me, but for me, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, it comes down, to be honest with you, who has the dog in him and who doesn't. And that, when I say the dog, that's part heart, that's part skill, and that's part knowledge of what you actually have to do. So some of what Nate was saying about knowing where to line up, how to play the leverage, film study, but then there's a level of, can you just do it? And you just have some players in the league, the top, like Dion he could just do it. Like, it didn't matter what it was. Yes. Dion, like, listen, y'all play whatever y'all want over here. I'm zone, right? I got a chance to know and to watch a guy like Darrelle Revis from the start. Me and Darrelle Revis lived together during training, leading up until the draft, and then we became friends over time. But watching a guy like Darrelle Revis, he just had it. He was so instinctive. He was so knowledgeable, and then he had the skill. He had the downright skill to be able to jam you up, to run with you, to play leverage. So where, he'll get beat every now and again, but he would beat you more than you would beat him. And so you have some guys who just got it. Some dudes who they just come out the womb like he's it. That's the anointed one. That's the chosen one. And you have some that don't. And those are the guys who need to do more in the preparation department, need to do more in knowing, hey, if I'm not a fleet-footed dude, if I'm not a guy who can just get up on my horse and run with these guys, then guess what I have to do? I have to be really good at the line of scrimmage. I have to know where my help is at all times, and I have to play, like Nate was saying, to my strengths and stay out of those places where my weaknesses will be becoming a focal point. Every quarterback, when they go into a game, they're looking to see, who can I pick on? Who is the weak link, and how can we get matchups against him? And you saw it yesterday where they were just like, oh, we're going at you, Anthony Brown. Oh, we're going at you, Cheeto. And so they were just picking the plays and the spots where How can I get these guys who aren't good at X, Y, and Z, or this guy who hasn't played in this amount of many weeks? How can I get them in predicaments where I'm going to stretch them to a place where they're uncomfortable? And that comes back to quarterbacking. When you're looking at, the other opposing team, what the quarterback sees, the offensive coordinator, and how we can attack those guys. As a defender, some guys just have it. And some guys need to do more stuff on the knowledgeable part of the game of football because they don't have everything on the physical side to make them a more consistent, complete player.
All right, let's take our final break. When we come back, fellas, we are going to let Kurt talk.
Nobody wants to hear from me.
Of Hanging
Nobody
with the
cares
boys.
about that.
We'll be right back.
Just like all of you, we at SeeDee can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeeDee is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeeDee app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeeDee.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
The Cowboys will be back home at AT&T Stadium Thursday to take on the Washington football team. That will be on Thanksgiving Day. What a tradition that is. Tickets are starting at just $89 and they're on sale now, so get yours at DallasCowboys.com/tickets today. Welcome back to the show. Victory Monday here. Hanging with the boys. SWBC Mortgage Living Room in Frisco, Texas. Jesse Holly, Nate Newton, Shannon Gross. And we are going to dedicate this last segment
nobody wants to
our
hear
good
that.
buddy, Kurt Daniels, because we have been yelling and screaming and talking over each other this whole show. And Kurt, we're going to let you talk about whatever you want to talk. You can talk about your kids, your wife,
that'd
your
be real
dogs,
interesting. Yeah, we'll
whatever you want to talk about.
No, I did want to ask you guys about. I thought, that third quarter that Minnesota put on us, I thought the Cowboys were cooked. I thought they were done. The way they run 21 plays to our 6 or something like that, they held the ball 12 minutes. Our defense just looked worn out. And so I was
beat down.
Yeah, and I think, Jesse, you even tweeted it out during the game. It's like there's no way they're going to stop them in the fourth quarter. So I was really impressed that as much as they struggled stopping that team, they found a way to do it in the fourth quarter, which is pretty impressive.
One of the reasons why, if you go back and look at the defensive snap count, I think Mike Nolan did a great job with rotating those guys in there. You don't see a lot of guys in that rotation with 40, 50, 60 snap counts. You see a lot of guys with 25, 30, 17. And so I think they did a pretty good job, especially with those guys up front, with getting some sort of rotation. I know that you kind of want to see more of the name brand guys in there, but they got a rotation going. They got more guys involved up front to somewhat keep them fresh in the fourth quarter, because they knew coming to this game that it was going to be a heavy dose of Dalvin Cook. And so if I got some fresh guys in the fourth quarter, I give myself a chance. So there wasn't a large amount of snap count on a small amount of guys. It was pretty spread out amongst those guys across the defensive line. And I think that slightly helped in the fourth quarter, because those guys did look wore down in that third quarter, but because they had a rotation, kept some guys fresh, that they were able to sustain and hold in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think.
And I agree 100%, man. It was just, we saw young Hamilton, and I'm thinking I got him right, 79, the big fella. I mean, he's a load, man. You saw that guy for some snaps, man. Yeah, and so when you see guys getting in there balling, man, and trying to be a part, and what they did, man, is they made Dalvin Cook earn those yards. As you go back and watch the film, you saw a lot of times where they was knocking their offensive line back, making Dalvin make these sudden jerky moves, and everything wasn't just straight downhill. Everything like that zone, you read, and then you put your foot in the ground and you go. A lot of that wasn't happening for him yesterday, even though he did have a lot of yardage. He was over 100 yards. He had to work for a lot of those yards. He was getting hit. And one of the ones where Kurt hung him out across the middle, Wilson made him pay. I know when he went to the sideline, when he finally got up, he probably looked Kurt up and said, "Kurt, come on, for real, dog." Justice, I'm lying. I promise you today, if they probably ain't looked at the film, but he probably holding his arm saying, "This yours, bro. You owe me one."
He hit him in stride. I like, what was DeMarcus Ware's quote on Wilson? Let me find that real quick. It was, if y'all don't know, he said, if y'all don't know, that's our hit man. Keep throwing that bitch across the middle. He gonna keep hitting.
It's good to have somebody come down there and feel like that.
But I hope DeMarcus Lawrence is as generous with his comments as he is with his bank account, because we know this ain't the old NFL, and he keep coming down. And I'm all for laying the thunder, but we don't play in that league anymore. Right. And depending on what refs you get and who you actually hitting, somebody gonna throw a flag and you're gonna be $15,000, $20,000 less in your account and a 15-yard penalty. So listen, I get it. Be the hitman all day long. Be Roy Williams Jr. But
be selective in that.
Just make sure we don't play in that same NFL anymore, and just don't do it in a critical moment where it's gonna cost us and cost you too. So DeMarcus Lawrence, if that's your hitman, cool. Just make sure you're willing to deduct some of that money from your big contract, and cash app it to him, because he's gonna need
it. Nate, stop. I see what you're about to do.
I was finna do a hand gesture, but I thought about it and I stopped. I didn't do it. Yeah. Wow. Because I was finna say little bank account, and I was finna do a hand gesture. I said, nah, I don't want Shannon mad at me. He said he's going to get you, Jesse.
Look, y'all act like y'all can pick me up and put me in y'all's pocket. Like, I'm short.
At least a book bag.
I'm not a big guy.
We can put you in a book bag.
But I ain't that damn small.
We can put you in a book bag.
What's your boy's name in Spain that sent us that video? What's his name? Frederick, like laughing, going, he's tiny. He's tiny. Look how tiny he is.
But
I ain't that damn tiny, Frederick.
But you got to admit, though, Shannon, you and your newborn baby can fit on a regular pillow. Your legs barely hang off.
Y'all are mean, harsh.
Y'all are so sorry.
But can I give some praises? Can I give some praises?
Yes, sir. We want to hear the gospel,
give some praises. I want to give some praises to Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy for.
Yes, sir.
This is the second week in a row they put together fine game plan. And they talked about it on the broadcast. Mike McCarthy has paid the Minnesota Vikings and won against the Minnesota Vikings more than any other coach in the National Football League. So I think him having a week to prepare for this game, they got a chance to sit down and they saw a lot of what they do with that one high safety and how to get some routes open. There were a couple of plays that I was like, Kellen Moore, oh my God, what a great play call. The Zeke Elliott option play in the 2-point conversion to CeeDee Lamb was fantastic. The touchdown to Dalton Schultz, where
game winner,
that particular pass right there, 99% of the time you're thinking the ball is going to CeeDee Lamb in the flat. We used to call it the Jerry Rice pass, right? They ran it in that West Coast offense. Jerry Rice would come in motion, snap of the ball. As soon as you get to that tackle's butt, snap the ball. He's right off that quick out route, and they used to throw it. Joe Montana, Steve Young, bang, bang, and it would be a touchdown. And they had everybody flowing that way. Dalton Schultz came to the backside wide open for a touchdown. There were a number of calls in this game where I was like, okay, Andy Dalton is in his bag. Like he was in a groove,
yes, sir.
And it was calling a fantastic game. CeeDee Lamb, he took some hits out there because Andy Dalton was laying the ball out way too far. He took a couple hits, but I was encouraged that the young player kept getting up. He kept getting up, and you look at CeeDee Lamb, he's not as thick. Like he's not a thick receiver. He's he ain't a trailer park receiver. You know what I'm saying? He's more like he ain't come up in a trailer park. He ain't a thick receiver. But the way that he was taking those hits and bouncing back up, that toughness to me, that resonates throughout the league. When you can see like, man, he took a hit and got up. That lets people know that you're a tough dude, and you may lay a lick on me, but I'm gonna get up and keep coming back at you. It was really good to see that the offensive line played well. They gave up only one sack against against a good defensive front. And
that's what a young stud like Connor McGovern to do for you.
Dalton said that was on him. He held the ball too long. So yeah.
Hey, let me say this right here. Chris Beam had a great comparison body-wise to the guy that the Texans let loose and go to the Cardinals.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Is that a good comparison? I thought it was with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
You know what? How about this comparison? CeeDee Lamb, more like grits, less like oatmeal.
I like it. I like that.
Just trying to come up with something like that.
I like that.
Right? You try. Hey,
put it on a t-shirt.
You got any more guys?
Put it on a t-shirt, baby. Let's put that thing on a t-shirt. I called for it last week. I said, Tank, we need more. And I think Tank showed up and gave more. He was stout in the run game, got a stack, was shutting stuff down. And that's what we need from our big guy defensively. So shout out to Tank because we asked for more and he gave more. And he knew that was imperative to stop this type of game. Well, again, they still gave up a lot of yards, but when it mattered the most, and you said that a lot, Nate, when it matters, I need you to show up when it matters. Yeah, you might not be good all game long, but when I need you to get a sack, when I need you to get a turnover, I need you to show up. And Tank showed up in that game. So kudos to him, man. It was fun to watch. It was a competitive game. There's a lot to clean up. Thank God you don't have to face. And here's the thing about the Cowboys. The Cowboys remaining, when you look at the schedules in the NFC East, Cowboys going forward, they have one game. And the remaining games are left on their schedule where they have one team who has a 500 or above record. I mean, above 500 record.
And they
lost 3 of their last 4.
So
that's.
The Cowboys are going to run the table.
It looks good. It looks good for the Cowboys.
You know what, Nate? Mission accomplished. We got Jesse on our side by the end of the show. He's excited too. He thinks we're going to the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
Y'all know what I've been doing.
I don't have a problem giving props. I just don't want y'all to be jumping off the porch talking about we going to Tampa.
Off the concrete and in a bed in Motel 6. He told me, Shannon told me, off the concrete and in a bed.
Y'all talking about Tampa. This damn team can't get past Corsicana. We talking about Tampa.
You're going the wrong way, man. You're going the wrong way to get to Tampa. Try Canton. We're going that way. Try Canton.
I got two.
You're going the wrong way, bro.
I got two questions before we get out of here. One to you, for you, Nate. Are you back on the Andy Dalton train, and can we stop the Garrett Gilbert talk?
Oh, yeah, I apologize right on TV last night. I mean, and what I like most of all is the head coach and the offensive coordinator are calling games that makes and highlights what this guy does well. You know, and I like that. And we've always, me and you both was on his train. We still on his train. He's a veteran quarterback. But I thought they was going with the youth movement, even though the dude is 29 years old. I thought they was going that route. And the momentum was with him. So I'm about winning most of all. You know, I'll joke and I'll jive, but I'm about winning, man. That's all. I desire that. That's all I want.
Shout out to Andy Dalton. Stepped up. He stepped up.
Yeah.
Pressure was on. Pressure was on Andy Dalton.
That fourth down pass to Cooper,
was.
that was money.
All right, so last question before we get out of here. I'm going to start with Jesse, and then I'll Kurt, let's go to you, and then we'll go to Nate. Jesse, I think we all agree that they turned a corner with the Pittsburgh game. We're a little bit over the – okay, yeah, let's just say Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and now they're building momentum. What is it going to take for you to buy back into this team? Because I was off this team, starting to buy back in. How many more wins do they need to string together before you're like, you know what?
You have to dominate Washington. You have to dominate Washington and beat the Ravens. And I'm all in. I'm all in.
And you're in? Okay.
You dominate Washington and you
enough.
beat the Ravens. Now you got Jay Holly. You got Jay Holly on your team.
Jay Holly.
Okay. All right. Kurt, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Jesse. I think if they can beat Washington, they'll run it. They can.
There we go.
If they beat Washington, you know, then I think they're definitely in the driver's seat for the NFC East, and that'll get them in the playoff. That's all they need. But if they really want to show their contenders to go up to Baltimore and beat them, that'd be something. Then you're talking a different story.
All right, Nate. What about you? You already in, or you need to see a little bit more this week?
Have you ever thought that I wasn't in? Come on, dog. Come on, man. My belief in them is as big as Zeke's head, all right?
Oh, my goodness. That's
that thing
big.
is huge.
That is large.
That thing is huge.
What about
All
you,
right,
Shem?
fellas, this was fun.
What about you?
I think
He ain't rescinded his tickets to Mexico yet.
No, I think I don't even think you have to dominate Washington. I think you beat Washington because Washington's going to be tough at home. Their defense is still what it is. I think you beat Washington and you show up in Baltimore and you play them close. I don't even think you have to win, and I think this team is back to being a legit team that has a legit shot at winning.
That can compete.
That can compete, yeah. That can win the conference.
Yeah, that's so goal.
You can win the division and at least show up and be competitive in a playoff game.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at right now. You dominate Washington and you beat Baltimore. I got a different attitude. So let's go.
Hats off to Zach Martin, man. All jokes aside, hats off to Zach Martin.
Yeah.
Amazing how
The
one
best
guy
player
can,
on this football team.
And I'm not fighting that.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting that, bro.
Go
I
listen
need
to his
Zeke to have 3 figures every week, over 100 every week.
Go listen to Zach Martin's post-game interview either on YouTube or on our website. He talks. He knew all week that they were going to kick him out. So he had all week to prepare. It's kind of interesting.
Not out the house, just out the right tackle.
Not the right tackle. That's right. All right, fellas, this was fun. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk Cowboys offense, Washington's defense, Jesse Holly, Nate Newton, Kurt
I was warming up the arms, baby.
All right. I was warming up the bicep. Be back tomorrow. Hanging with the boys.
Got to warm them up, baby.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.